cannot do that. I cannot do that. I cannot do that. I cannot be contained. My research. I cannot do that.
In this Epoch build guide, I'm going to show you my very powerful Spellblade, how it works and how you can run it and all the gears that I have. This is a really good build and I'm loving it so far. I do apologize for the sound quality. My good mic broke, so I'm using a rubbish mic right now. Now this is an updated version of my build that I've been doing over the last 3 days. So let's talk about it. First of all, let's go over the gear. I'm running a headpiece. Now, the reason I'm running this headpiece is because I wanted the armor and the reduce bonus taken from critical strikes. So as you get up in the corruption and the monoliths, you get modifiers where the enemies have really high crit chances. So this is why I have this now. It helps a lot. And it also gives me mana, dex, and dodge rating as well. This is a bit of a game changer. And it also has 21% critical strike avoidance and armor as well up the top. This here gives me increased melee damage, increased cold damage, gives me ward, which I need, and then just some poison resistance. Now, I'll talk about my centerpiece first, and we'll talk about the swords because there's a bit to go over there. This gives me 3+ to Shatter Strike, which is my main skill, some cold damage, intelligence, and resistances, and a bit of mana as well. Now let's go over the swords because this is where this build gets crazy. If you see, my melee critical strike chance is 104%. This crits every single time, and the crits are massive. You'll see that my crit strike multiplier is 317%, and it's actually higher with some of the skills that give me a crit multiplier as well. This thing is an absolute beast. So let's go over the gear right now. You don't have to have 100% crit. 80 is good enough. 90, 80, 90, but 100% it's really good. So this sword here gives me 70% crit strike multiplier, and then it also gives me it again, and then I also get increased cold damage, and then I have increased dodge rating, which I put on there. And then this here, this gives me melee damage, increased elemental damage, increased attack speed, and then 9% critical strike chance. So that's what gives me. So if we take this off, we go like this, my crit chance drops down to 51%. We put this on, we're back to 104. Okay, so that's what that does. All right, so let's move on to these pieces as well. This is what I'm rolling here is crit chance, dex, and then the other two don't really matter too much. This is what I'm rolling here: mana regen, cold, cooldown reduction speed, recovery speed. That's for this one here. So I get this buff more. This is cold, damage, intelligence, ward again, and 80% dodge rating. You do need some ward on this build. These are the gloves, attack speed, critical chance, and then some armor, some health. These are the boots for movement speed, and some dex, strength, and intelligence. This is what I'm rocking here. This is for dex and shatter strike, and we get 2% cold penetration with shatter strike per stack of bleed. Now, if you don't know, this gives you bleed on you, so you have bleed all the time on your body when you are using this. So you want to make sure your physical resistance is max 75% to counteract that. Now, what I want to do before we get into anything else, I want to explain to you a few ways you can do this build. This build is big damage right here. If you want to move a little bit quicker in the monoliths and still do good damage, put this on. This is the humming bee. It gives you 7% increased movement speed, and it gives you some ward buffs as well. So if you feel like you're a little bit weak, throw this on. You're still going to rock monoliths. Boss fights, not so much, but put this on if that's what you want to do. Now, what I want to show you is another. Why do I have this mace in here? You see this is 3 to Shatter Strike. You might not be able to get that. So if we go to Shatter Strike, right here, I have 4 into this. Shatter Strike critical gives extra critical multiplier per sword, which is massive. Now you might not be able to do that because you might not be able to have the points. So what you can do is you can actually take off one of these swords and you can put on a mace because they have big critical multiplier as a standard, and then you can also get it as well. This one is actually the wrong one, so let me get the right one real quick. All right, here's the right one here. So this gives me increased melee attack speed and 69% melee critical multiplier and some damage. So you can run this, and this actually gives you the same, around about the same amount of damage if I didn't have these 4 points in. It's a little bit less, not much, very marginal. So you can do that if you don't have points to put into here. You can run a mace with, the reason you're running this is because you have melee critical strike multiplier as a standard on this weapon, but you want to make sure you have increased attack speed as well. That's very important for this build. But this is what I'm running right now in most of my monoliths. Now let's get into some of the other stuff. I'm not going to go through like every single passive, but I'll just show you them. I have a mix of like defenses and damage. So this is them here. You can just pause the screen, have a look. This is these ones here. I have a lot in like mana and ward. This is because you're going to need it. And then this here gives me a little bit of critical as well. So this boosts up the critical. I could probably take this out if I wanted to because I don't really need to be over 100 crit. 90 or 80 would be plenty, but I do have it in there. So this is what this looks like. And then this is what this looks like. I have ward and mana. Now, this might not be optimized the best for most people because for some reason with Spellblade, everyone wants to go for just straight damage. And I could get way more damage out of this, but I don't want to get more damage because it's working fine. I just want to get more mana, more ward, etc. Let's go into the skill points. This is what I have here. Okay, pretty good. You could potentially take one out of here and put it into here for more damage, but you'll lose attack speed. Attack speed's quite important for this build. This is what I have for my mana strike. This is just for ward and to regenerate my mana. Don't really care about anything else here. This is what this is. It's mainly the same thing. I just want ward and mana and stuff. Not too worried about anything else. This is the enchanted weapon. You can do whatever you want here. I have tested before where I do Elemental Nova. I might do a build on that. That's pretty good as well. But this is what this looks like here. And then teleport. I just use this again for like armor. And then, ward retention, ward, all just defenses. That's all I'm really using this for. Don't really care about anything else there. And that's really it. It's super simple. It does massive damage. And you just need to really... What a lot of people don't understand about Spellblade is there's two different types of builds, right? You're going to find it very difficult to run through monoliths if you just focus, especially in the high corruption, if you just focus on damage. And so this is why I sometimes swap this out. So try have a good balance of damage for the monoliths, a good balance of damage and speed and like survivability. So I will run this through the monoliths. When I get to a boss, like not in the monoliths, but like outside the monoliths, Harbinger and stuff, I'll put that in. So this is more of a boss build. This here is more of a monolith speedrun build a little bit. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next video. Give this a go. This is just a straight damage build. And you can get more damage out of this. I'm going to do that when I get some more gear. And then the idols. The idols are nothing really crazy. I have this one for damage increase. Most of them are just resistances and armor. Cold penetration, armor, resistances, dodge. I haven't optimized my idols very well, but it's resistances and a little bit of critical strike, which I could probably take this out actually because I do not need that anymore. But yeah, that's what that is. I'll see you guys in the next video.